Well, we're at the COMIS Hotel, known to many people and probably will do for a long time as the Mount Murray. With me, the Chief Minister, who's about to open the KPMG eGaming event. And usual thing, I suppose, I'm always intrigued about how important this industry is to the Isle of Man. And you're always going to tell me it's dead important, but is it sometimes too important? You know, too much of the sector?
Well, obviously you don't want to get into a situation where we used to be maybe 10 years ago, where 65% or so of the island's economy was finance sector. That's now down to 34%. You don't want all your eggs in one basket, Paul. You want a number of industries, and the e-gaming sector and the e-business sector, which are combined. Obviously e-gaming and the ICT sector combined into one. When you look at those figures, that's now 28% of our economy. It's the biggest sector on the Isle of Man, and it contributes an awful lot to the island economy. It's well-paid jobs and good infrastructure for the Isle of Man. And you always seem to open it, well, the Chief Minister's position is. I mean, that's the sort of esteem it's held in, that sort of thing. Well, it is, and actually my job at the end of 2013, 2014 was the political member with responsibility for e-gaming. So I have a little bit more knowledge than the average politician on how the e-gaming sector works. Now, you relax with the way it is. I mean, it's always going to have a reputation, whatever you do about it. Gambling is for some people, is just a step too far, isn't it? Yeah, and it's something I thought about when I took the position, but at the end of the day, if you say no, we're not going to have it on the Isle of Man, it's going to be displaced somewhere else. We have the gold standard, the gold-plated standards effectively on the Isle of Man for the whole of the world for what we expect from the companies, and therefore as a result we attract the top end, the very best quality companies come to the Isle of Man. No player has ever lost money from a licensee, through illegal activities, and as a result their money is kept in a separate bank account to the bank accounts that the e-gaming companies hold for themselves, and therefore their money can only be touched when they decide to use it. It can't be touched if that company needs it for marketing, which is what we've seen happen in other jurisdictions. So we operate a very well-run e-gaming industry in the Isle of Man. We've got a fantastic regulator, and as a result of that we have the top end of the market. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but to regulation, but at one stage the Isle of Man dysregulated, and they could, anyone in the UK or anywhere could probably almost buy, the products. Since then, the UK has regulated themselves. Has that changed things? That happened when I was in the e-gaming sector, and the UK looked at the standards and how we run the system, and copied an awful lot of what the Isle of Man was doing, and I took that as a great compliment that they saw that the Isle of Man was the jurisdiction to go to when it came to doing it properly, having proper regulation. And is a Brexit issue over this as well? Would this be one of those things that could fit the Isle of Man, but the whole UK, could this be a massive change of plan for some of these companies? Well, not really. The Isle of Man has always been a third country status when it comes to financial services and this sort of business. Now, one of the, I suppose, bigger problems is that it used to be that if you had a licence on the Isle of Man, that enabled you to go all over the world. Now, a number of countries, including some in the EU, are saying if you want to do business in our country, you've got to take a licence in our country. So that's starting to happen now. But it's still it's got roots on the Isle of Man. It's people are buying houses, they're not renting houses, they're building new headquarters. You've seen one that's over in the teens of millions being recently built on Circular Road. It's part of our economy, and it's very welcome. Okay, but are you supporting the people who do have a problem with this whole thing? I mean, the people who need Gamble Aware and all these other things. Yeah, and an awful lot of the companies now have built-in programs where they can recognise people who, the way they're gambling, the pattern they're gambling, that where they do have a problem, and then they can block them from gambling, and obviously donations are made to GamCare to help those people who find they have an addiction. And finally, do you want to see more companies? I mean, today there'd be people here who might be in Gibraltar or Malta as their base. So are you kind of wooing? We always woo quality business, Paul. Yeah. It doesn't matter what sector it is. This government. Do you want more if you could? I want more, but it's always quality. I don't want the mass side or maybe the lower end to come to the Isle of Man. It's always the quality sector that we look for the Isle of Man. Well respected. That's going to be an asset to the Isle of Man rather than a problem, and that's what we will continue to look for.